Hello, nine genders here. So, first of all, I think I want to address a lot of these conversations that have been happening on TikTok around binary versus non-binary. Now, what I argue is the binary is male or female, right? So it's all male or all female. So that means your physical body and your gender essence, which I argue is spiritually based, is male. And your physical body and your gender essence, your spirit, is female, female. So that's the binary. So I argue that anything that sits outside of that binary of male or female is non binary. Now, so if a person has a male body and female gender essence, then that's non binary. If a person has ambiguous gender, non binary body, and a male gender essence or spirit, then that's non binary, right? So everything that doesn't fit into male or female is non binary. Now, with the nine genders, there are nine. So two of those are the binary. The other seven are non binary. So, quickly, what are the nine genders? The nine genders are male with a male spirit, female with a female spirit. Okay, so let's start this again. Male with a male spirit, male with a female spirit, male with a non binary spirit. So the first is physical, the second is gender. So female, physical body with a female spirit, the binary. Female physical body with a male spirit, non binary. Female physical body with a non binary spirit, non binary. Non binary physical body, so that would be intersexed, etc., with a non binary spirit, obviously non binary. Non binary physical with a male spirit, non binary. Non binary physical with a female spirit, non binary. So that's the nine genders. Okay? So four of those designations can change from non binary to binary, right? And those designations are male with a female spirit. Okay, if you have a male body and you have a female spirit or female gender essence, then through transition, you can change your male body to a female body, and then you fit into the binary. This is what I argue. This is how I see it. This is how I see it, as my ancestors influenced my lines of thinking and ways of seeing the nine genders, because they are the ones that gifted me the nine genders. Okay? So, second designation, female body with a male gender essence, right? So that female body can transition to male, and then you have a male body with a male gender essence. So that is a person who can change from non-binary to the non-binary. Okay, so a non-binary body with a male gender essence or male spirit. Okay, obviously through operations, and these operations where there's non-binary bodies, the doctors often change their sexes from non-binary to fit into the binary anyway. But do they really fit into the binary when they're done as babies? No, because you don't know what their gender essence is at that stage in life, right? Gender essence really becomes known to the person and can only be defined by the person who holds that gender essence or that gendered spirit. So these doctors are playing God without the information they need to be able to determine who that person is gender wise, not physical wise. So a non binary person with a male gender essence can have an operation, a transition, and transition into male. So, and also a person with a non binary body, so that's somebody that's born with both sexes, can transition into a female body. So there's the 4 designations that can go from non-binary over to the binary. Now I'm talking about logically. I'm not talking about how people feel or how people think or how people. I'm talking about the definition of the binary, male or female, and the definition of non-binary being anything that sits outside of male or female. Now, there are 3 designations that would not necessarily change over to the binary. So if you have a non-binary body and a non-binary spirit, the desire for that person to switch over to the binary isn't necessarily going to be there, right? So these people, they might transition, but transition into androgyny rather than transition into male or female. Okay? So a person with a female body and a non-binary spirit wouldn't necessarily want to transition into a male body. And if they did with the non-binary spirit, they'd still sit outside of the binary. So people with non-binary spirits are not going to be able to successfully transition into the binary because their physical bodies and their gender essence is not congruent. So the binary congruency is male body with a male gender essence and a female body with a female gender essence. Either or, right? Now, so these 3 designations, non-binary with a non-binary spirit, female body with a non-binary spirit, and male body with a non-binary spirit, would not be gaining congruence in any way by transitioning into male or female. So this is why I say of the 9 genders, 7 are non-binary, and 4 of those 7 can transition into the binary of male or female. Now, please comment. Let me know what you think, right? I'm really coming at this more so with a bit of an academic lens, so a bit of a colonialized lens. But then again, the binary was set up by colonialism. right? It is one of the powers of colonialism that colonialism used to suppress the people they were trying to colonize. And they used a gender binary through Christianity to do that. Okay? So, what I'm seeing, so this is how I see the binary. This is how it was explained to me by my ancestors. And this is what I'm trying to put out there for the people to try and understand. Now, for this reason, right, binary is an umbrella term, and non binary is an umbrella term. Trans sits under the non binary umbrella, right? And people can transition within 4 of them designations, can transition from non binary to the binary. Now, 3 of those designations, I argue, would not even have the will or the ability to transition into the binary because their physical bodies and their gender essence, their spirit, will never be congruent with the binary. Thank you.